Well and well met. Welcome to the Westgate Irregulars, Rashomon edition.
Whoa.
I'm your DM, Aaron M. Evans. I am the author of the forthcoming Empire of Exiles and Brimstone Angels saga, and I'm here to mess these guys up with a crazed boar spirit. First, I'm going to tell you about our sponsors. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons & Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angel saga. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Epic, Xbox One, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. And today was a very big day. They released their 100th champion, Dungeon Master from the D&D cartoon.
Wow. Amazing.
With Uni familiar. You know you want it.
Amazing.
If you are already a fan of Idle Champions, please grab that code at the bottom of the screen, or you can type !code or We Love Codename to get a copy you can copy and paste. That will give you an Electrum Chest of your very own. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should check them out at idlechampions.com.
Is it me or is it you, Eric?
I guess it's me. Hi.
Do it, Eric.
Figure this out eventually.
I'm Eric Scott DeVee, very tall gamer / writer dude. I want to give a shout out to the Empire of Exiles book. It's available for pre-orders right now. You should go pre-order it. I pre-ordered my copy last time and I forgot to mention it. So you should all do the same. It's going to be epic. We still haven't seen the cover yet. It's going to be amazing though.
We'll have a cover eventually.
No pressure or anything. All right. And I play Sebastian, who is Celia's childhood friend / boyfriend / ex-boyfriend / who am I now? Who is an artificer, a Vremyani from Rashomon.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held. I write urban fantasy as Rhiannon Held, and space opera is RZ Held. And the latest in that series, the new novella is called Pure Motives. And you can type that in the chat, or I will once I'm done talking, to find out more about it. And I also want to tell you about a couple of our other sponsors. Two of them both make dice, and both are awesome in very different ways. In a realm where most warriors use plastic light weapons, Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you are skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. Norse Foundry offers other cool gaming accessories as well, and you can find their store and more about them at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials for their dice. They're always designing and testing multiple types of recycled materials for your enjoyment, raising dice from the ashes and onwards to epic adventures. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com.
Hi, I'm Yang Wang, and I play Stong Makguk, the barrel-chested, barrel-wearing, very hairy heir to the Murder Bear tribe.
I'm Stephen Merlino. I play Sturge, Arcane Trickster and Diviner, and I want to tell you about two giveaways we have today. The winner of our first giveaway receives their choice of a dice set and tray from whatever Phoenix Dice has in stock. To enter the giveaway, type !ticket into chat. Also, a reminder, there's only 3 days left of Phoenix Dice's 40% off spring sale. So you might want to check that out, whether or not you win the giveaway. The second giveaway, we have 2 copies of the newly released sci-fi young adult ebook, The Wasp Child by Rhiannon Rasmussen. It has very high review from Kirkus Reviews. And here's the story. A boy undergoes a disturbing identity-challenging metamorphosis in this debut YA SF novella. That is what Kirkus says. That was their thing. In Meridian Colony, a minor off-Earth research base, Kesh Ugomi has never quite fit in. He's a loser freak, an orphan passed around from family to family, a poor student burdened by food allergies no one else has. Boy, I'm familiar with that story. His classmates despise him. As you do, people who have food allergies, not, but they despise him. So much so that as the story begins, 2 boys capture Kesh, transport him in a hovercraft, and abandon him in the rainforest, shouting, "You can walk home, you disgusting parasite." Those guys.
Hashtag relatable.
There, Kesh faces certain death, and he has no choice but to seek shelter with the Sansick, giant bugs native to the planet. And though the Sansick help him, they also set off a horrific metamorphosis in Kesh. Trapped between the grasp of Meridian's laboratories, who want to study him like, well, a bug, and the harsh alien world, Kesh must escape to have any chance of finding his purpose and place in the world. Kirkus Reviews says, a well-written story of transformation that's both emotional and thought-provoking. To enter for this giveaway, type !enter into chat for a chance to win it. We'll announce that at the end of the game today. And then also on Discord, you can go to Discord, into Tavern, follow the instructions there when you see the announcement, where you see the announcement for it, and get a chance there. That one, however, we won't announce until Saturday evening.
Okay.
I miss anything? No. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
I'll do it. Seriously, they should hire you to be the hype man for books.
Very good at
Yeah. Love the way you read those summaries, man.
Well, you know, I like books, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So tell me about this bacon machine we're facing.
Well, one,
Baconator.
if you call it a bacon machine, the Ramyani are going to look at you like,
I'm thinking blue bacon and ham. No, never mind.
So I will just read you the description that we ended on last time to put you in the right frame of mind. As you enter the clearing, you hear a sound like a trumpet, and standing on the other side of the clearing alongside the glowing river is a boar, but it's bigger than any boar you've ever seen. Its shoulder is 20 feet high, and lightning crackles around tusks as long as beams. Its eyes are glowing, burning. It's blue, but Artemisia recognizes that there is something sort of growing rotten in that blueness that does not match the coyote spirit. It's like a sickly purple cast, as if something's growing in the flames. And it tosses its enormous head and it screams again. And in the screams, you hear the word betrayers. And now you're gonna roll initiative.
Hey,
Okay.
do this.
So we need information.
$17.
I got 20. Yeah.
That's Sturge. Oh, poop.
Ah,
That's okay.
Sturgeon Artemisia, what'd you get?
15.
8.
Okay.
How did Thea feel,
And-
dude?
What did Fia feel good? Oh, you know what? I have to do one quick thing.
Sturge has a bit of a man crush on Feafil.
Maybe.
I think it's come across pretty clearly, but we'll see it more. So
I'm
this
just gonna
session.
leave it
I mean,
that
Stong
way.
has a man crush on Nikafor. So.
Yeah, totally.
You guys are just gonna stay here with your new buds.
Well, I mean, Artemisia wouldn't object.
Yeah, we have a new life here. Sorry, other regulars. Bye.
Sebastian has seen most of these men naked. He's not
What?
all that impressed.
They jump in the
Okay.
river like
Yeah,
for
that's right.
spring.
Some of them, sleep with each
That
other.
roll
It's
over
not a
there.
big deal.
Okay.
Okay.
So Feafil rolled a 10. I am using the encounter builder on D&D Beyond because
Oh,
I
nice.
really quite like it.
Yeah.
So I just
Check
need to
it out.
enter because it didn't sync the right versions of you or something, but it didn't fill in your initiative when you rolled. Oh, probably because you didn't necessarily roll in the right thing. Okay, and Stong, you had a 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, Sebastian,
Sweet.
you get to go first. Oh, it did load you. It's got your hit points and everything.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
All right. Well, I was tempted to trap it in a magic circle, but looking at it, it is too big to fit in a magic circle, which is 10 feet by 10 feet. So
Half of
we're
it
going to
could
have to
fit.
improvise. So what Sebastian's going to do is he's going to infuse his armor with a tiny amount of chronomantic magic. He casts haste on himself. So just
Now vibrating.
Yep. Well, everyone else just looks like they're moving really slowly, right?
He's looking at the boar and it's like tossing its head like a shampoo commercial.
Now hasted. Yeah, that boar looks glamorous and fantastic right now. I am going to go and I don't know. I'm gonna be brave, maybe take a swing at it. Let's see if I can get to it. With my doubled speed, thanks to haste, I can get to it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Just go flying over the water. All right. And I get a bonus action to do a weapon attack. So I'm going to swing my sword at it and see what happens. Let's do this. Okay, so 22. Does that hit?
That does hit.
Great.
That didn't hit. We would be in trouble.
23 points of damage to it.
Okay. What are you attacking with?
This is my enhanced sword, so I have made it a +2 sword using my artificer infusions. And it has my
Okay.
battle wrap around it, which is why it did all that damage.
Very, very nice. Give me one quick second because I past Aaron made a lovely little homebrew of this and then wrote down some things without remembering a particular word that's very necessary. Which you
Gotcha.
can probably guess. So, okay, so you said 23 points of damage?
Correct.
Okay.
I've also put a number in for the rounds that haste could theoretically last, assuming my concentration remains. And I will tick down that number every time I take a turn. Just
What are you
want y'all-
feeling right now?
Well, what did it feel like when I struck it with the sword?
Huh. So it okay. I'm gonna go with the way this sounds like it's written because so you swing your sword into it. It feels much like you're to start with. It feels like you're cutting into something alive, but you feel that crackling energy and that sense when the Oath Lord put her hand on your head and you just sort of like your sensations rushed out into the land. Like you get sort of the echo of that. You know this is not a normal beast. And while you do damage to it, not as much as you would have expected.
Okay. I needed a +3 weapon. Oh no!
Yeah.
Bitten in the butt by my own stinginess.
Yeah. Look to the sky for a meteor. Will it fall in front of you and crack open and have a shiny new sword inside?
Meteorite short sword. Hey, I just want you to know, I can use a lot of weapons. I just choose to use a short sword, okay? Okay.
No judgment.
It's because that's what I described the first time Sebastian showed up, so that's what he has. So I charged forward valiantly. I struck it. I have this conflicted feeling in my heart, and I'm like, guys, we got this, right?
Okay. So as you do that, you cut into it, and the boar spirit rears up, and its hooves come slamming down. Make a dex save.
Yeah. All right, so it's this +2 because I get a bonus from being hasted. 19.
19 is enough. You roll out of the way. You are not crushed by the gleaming sharp hooves of the embodiment of spring.
Great.
Stong, it's your turn.
Damn it, spring. Okay. So Stong is going to take one look at that boar spirit, and he sees like Sebastian's courageous charge, but he sees that as Sebastian is running towards this boar spirit, Sebastian is getting like tinier. And Stong is like, he glances at Sturge, and he glances at Artemisia, and he's like, that is one big pig. And as he says that, he's like rolling up his sleeves. He reaches into his pack, casually pops open a potion. It's a clear potion that's got like a little bead of red inside that slowly expands and then contracts, and then he drinks it. And it is a potion of growth. So Stong immediately expands.
Huzzah.
And he becomes 2x2. His token becomes 2x2, as
Oh
if
my
he were
God.
under the effect of an enlarged spell.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Wow.
cool. Let's
How
see
long
that big
does that
Stog
last?
token.
It lasts 1d4 hours. So let's see.
All
in this
right.
case,
So you're giant strong for the duration.
4 hours. Yeah.
4 hours.
This
We got
this
4
takes
hours, guys.
4 hours.
Is Artemisia gonna do her trick with like the wings? Like she's not gonna be able to fit the wings around you, man.
Yeah, you could
You
block
pick
like
up-
a part of me.
Your growth potion lasts for more than 4 hours, right? Yeah.
yeah. If it lasts more than 4 hours, then you should consult your
Consult a
doctor because.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, so afterwards he will just, he rolls up his sleeves and he charges towards the boar. But can you make my token 2x2?
I think I can.
Yeah, you should be able to just
Grab it.
drag it,
Yeah,
resize it.
drag it.
Whoa. Oh, wait, hang on. Because I'm on the wrong thing. I was
Oh.
measuring distances.
Oh, you nuts.
Whoa. Big Stong.
Dang.
Oh, are you huge at this size? Just out of curiosity?
I'm large.
You're
Yes.
large. Okay.
So I'm gonna put myself right here just in case the boar spirit tries to get past me. And then he's gonna squat down and take like a sumo pose. You've seen this pose like in the previous time when he was wrestling some of those berserkers. And that's it for his turn.
He's
Okay.
gonna wrestle a pig. He's a pig wrestler.
I'm ready.
Okay, Sturge. It's your turn.
All right, Sturge is going to cut me off when I've spoken too much. As Sturge, he's going to take hopefully a free action and say, Fearfill, do we kill it or talk with it?
Do not kill it! But he's driven mad.
Can we subdue it?
That's the plan, man.
Okay, so beat it to this close to dead, but then don't take it the
Don't
rest of the
kill
way.
it. Anything you can do to stop it. There is something on. Something has affected it. You kill it, I will hand you to the witches. I forgot Fearfill's voice. He's really upset. It got higher.
Okay, Sturge is going to cast Blink, which he's never done before.
Ooh.
So he might get it wrong. Not. He's studied it very carefully. But he's going to cast it. And then he's going to run up next to Stong, but kind of under the tree, the overarching tree branches. While he's there, he's going to, if I still have enough action, hide.
Okay.
I also roll to see if I blink into the ethereal now.
Yeah.
So I'll roll a 20-sided and 11 and above, and I blink ethereal.
You are not ethereal.
I'm not
tragically.
ethereal, no, but I'm hiding, so I'll do a little, that other thing, stealth.
You're also like not in a square, which is like your superpower.
I figured that was to symbolize he's in the ethereal. But now that we know that you didn't actually get to the ethereal.
Well,
I'm gonna just drop you in behind those.
okay. 23 for stealth.
Okay, you are very stealthy.
I would
It
like
is
to be
very-
a little farther in under the branches there, like there.
Okay.
But it's enough. Yeah.
I mean, Sturge, you could probably just hold a branch up in front of your face and you'd get it exactly right.
Oh, I forgot. I have my elven cloak, so it's advantage. But yeah, 23. Okay. All done.
Okay.
Done with my turn.
Okay. Clement next to you, Artemisia, is like really. This is upsetting. And he's sort of looking back and forth from the elder Vremyani, not sure what to do. And then you see him sort of reach down, grab something, and he turns into the bear. But he just is there, like he's sort of trying to figure out. You get the feeling he is trying to figure out what to do. And now it's Boar Spirit's turn.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Very, very upsetting. Very
Okay.
distressing.
So it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out strong. Let me do a quick measurement. Where is that?
Hey, thanks so much for the sub, Deckard Kane Sender. They've been subscribing for 17 months now, currently on a 15-month streak.
Okay, so the boar spirit in its stamping. Make sure I'm on the right. It's gonna kind of shift over here, tossing around. It's tusks. Like you see that lightning crackle up the tusks, and then boom, a lightning bolt goes through Sebastian's thong, and I think he can only hit Clement. So everybody needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
All right, dex save, you said?
And let's see.
25.
The dex. You don't have a good dex, Clement.
No.
Okay. Sebastian and Stong.
I'm gonna cast absorb elements on myself.
That's
So I
probably a good
Get resistance
plan.
to this lightning blast.
This is where I go, no, I did too much.
Mm.
He does 72 damage.
Holy crap!
That's
Half
with
of
a
that, sorry, half
successful.
of that.
Oh,
half
okay.
of that on both of you.
Oh, okay.
Is it
Come
half
on, Mike,
Oh
because
you're dead.
God! Hostile
Oh, no!
Eldritch inspiration for the DM.
Nice.
is it,
Is
is
that
it
the
half-
boar?
hostile? Is that for Clement or the boar? Is that just whatever I feel like?
It says they specifically say to help the boar.
No!
The boar has way too many enemies. Let's give it
No,
some
not
help.
Clement.
Oh, dude, this is not the time to be channeling PETA.
hey, look, if Clement ends up being a Mia boy, you know, and he dies shortly after you have your romantic interlude, that would just be thematically appropriate. So you said 72, right?
Wait, did Sebastian just get deleted off the map? Like this lightning bolt was so
Whoa.
powerful.
I didn't. If I did
Whoops.
that, I
That
did
was
not
me.
mean to do
That was
that.
me.
Okay.
Sorry.
You
Okay.
deleted
How did
Sebastian.
how did Steven do that? It's fine.
I assumed I
fine.
didn't have the power. to do
Artemisia, does your wing thing, is that a reaction?
It is, but it's to an attack roll.
Okay.
Oh.
So, because
okay.
I was like looking that up. You see me shuffling papers. I looked that up. I was like, damn it.
Let me figure out.
So
That'd be
with
good
my
that we made those
resistance to
saves.
electricity, I ended up just taking 18 damage from that blast.
Well, fortunately, he turned into a bear first, and if I remember right, that when he casts polymorph, he will just turn back into himself, right? And he gets his regular human hit points at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not a bear anymore for sure.
Okay. So original Angsted gives inspiration to the party. So we have one. the boar,
One
and then
to
one
share.
for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I will say if you guys, for whatever reason, would like to give that to an NPC, for example, the priest who has the healing powers at some point.
Oh, you know, that
Yay.
might be a good idea.
Which priest?
Theophil?
Yeah, Phil?
Oh, he's a priest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is he gonna heal you? Different question.
Yeah, I think it's okay to give him that.
I'm just saying, you guys have inspiration. If for some reason, like, Theophil tries to, like, save you and it doesn't work and you want to give it to Theophil, that is okay with me. But for now, okay, so that is the boar spirit. That's all it does on this turn. That's good for you guys.
Okay, I made my concentration check to maintain the haste.
Okay, awesome. So Theophil is going to cast he's gonna go ahead and cast a mass healing word on you too.
Sweet.
No, I don't think anybody else got hurt. You get 7 hit points.
Oh, okay.
He's
Oh,
only helping a little
nice.
bit.
Thanks, Theophil.
But it's okay. He's keeping the big guns in reserve. He's like, stop screwing around.
Classic Theophil.
All right, Artemisia, you're up.
Okay. So Clement turned back to a human. Does he look hurt now?
No, but he does
Okay.
look fully freaked out.
Yeah.
And the other two who took damage and got a little bit healed, you still look like semi-okay?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine. I don't need any healing.
Okay.
Famous last words. I don't need any healing.
He'll be okay.
Artemisia is gonna yell, not to the Dungeon Scholars people, or the Westgate Irregulars people, but to the NPC. She's gonna yell, I can also heal. Just tell me if you need it, and because Mitzi should be around. So she's gonna keep Mitzi within 100 feet. Mitzi's not on her shoulder, but like up in the trees or something. And so she is going to stay where she is because she wants to be within 5 feet of Clement in case there is an attack roll.
I also forgot to remind you of something. Clement did a battle binding on you.
Oh, right.
Before.
And I figured somebody in the chat, I think it was Marduk, said bracers. And so that sounds cool. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to suggest, that she's got bracers now.
And you had you get to choose you get to choose either bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage that you're going to be resistant against.
What kind of damage do boar tusks do?
That's a great question.
That's an
So far,
excellent
all you know
question.
is lightning.
That's right. Lightning is not one of those choices.
No.
I mean, I'm thinking bludgeoning.
Well, the tusks wouldn't do bludgeoning damage, but it trampling you might do
Yeah.
bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I was thinking pierce.
I mean,
Or slashing.
whichever of these I do. Well, I think honestly, last time I remember choosing slashing, so I think I'll just go with that because just go with it.
Okay.
Make me an insight check.
Okay. That is insight. Where do we go? Okay, 17.
So you knew when you did this that there was a boar involved, and you know from running as a wolf, right?
Yeah.
That probably it's either piercing or bludgeoning that's the best choice.
Okay. Let's do bludgeoning then.
Cool. Okay. And the thing about that too, so never mind, he didn't do the other thing because he's actually not high enough level, I don't think.
BFL?
I don't think so.
No, come on.
Clement. At
Oh.
level 9 he can do something. I guess he would be level 9 if he's never mind. We didn't do that. He likes you a lot, but the power binding, that's like a lot of commitment. So you don't have to worry about how far away you
There we
get
go.
from him.
Okay.
So basically, you have to stay. If he triggers that, he attaches himself to you, and you have to stay within 5 feet of each other, or you get stuck. But you get to do basically a warding bond. Except he just really got slammed, and I don't think you want to share hit points right now. I don't know. I don't want to tell you how to commit in your relationship, Artemisia, but I feel like
No. So she yelled about the healing to people, and she made sure Mitzi, because Mitzi's going to be delivering the nose boobs, and so she is going to, and she's fully aware that this will not work, but she's hoping that it will be like straining at a jarred lid where you like hand it to somebody else and you've like loosened it. So she wants to cast Dispel Magic on the boar and upcast it to 4th level.
And what is it that you're trying to dispel?
So the taint in the purpley kind of stuff in the blue light, she wants to focus the spell on that.
Okay.
And as I say, she doesn't expect it to work, but she's hoping that will like loosen it.
Okay. Interesting. And do you need to roll it?
It is automatically end the effects of the spell on the target if spells equal or less than the spell. So equal or less than 4th, I automatically end. Ability check. DC is 10 plus the spell's level. And that is a 19.
Okay. So that will do it. Regardless of how hard that spell is.
Nice.
D&D is only so tricky. Okay. Interesting. Okay. What happens if there's multiple spells? Do you just hit all of them?
No, I think you only hit one. Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any.
Okay.
For each spell, make an ability check. So you can make me do multiple ones or whatever you want to do.
Okay, here's what I'll say happens. That first Dispel Magic goes over. Make me a perception check.
Okay. 4. Apparently she was really into that spell.
Did it do something? You're not sure if it did something. It's
Okay.
really bouncing around like crazy. You felt like you really whomped it, but you're not sure exactly what that did. You felt something go, but you're not sure what exactly it did. And so now I'm like, do you know if it went off? What went off?
Not obvious. It's not obvious.
I feel like you can't know yet
Yep.
because it is still agitated. But
Yeah,
but
I
you
don't
do
think
feel you're like something happened. I feel like something happened.
I did a thing.
Yeah.
At this point, the boar spirit is actually going to go ahead and like move.
Go.
Is that going to provoke an attack? of
That
opportunity
changes
from
my
me?
plans.
You can,
Oh,
yeah,
Hello, boy.
it just tromps right past you.
It's right in
Oh,
my
I
face.
can't take an opportunity attack because I already did the absorb elements. That's my reaction.
Oh, so
Nope.
it swooped by. You're like, oh my god, it's so big.
I barely got out of the way.
Come on, face it. So interesting. Okay,
So this thing looks like it could fit in a magic circle if we stack it up like vertically, like, butt to tail. Or,
Okay,
butt
Ston,
to
new plan.
nose.
You grab it, hold it vertical.
Yeah.
I draw a circle around it. You hold it for a full minute.
Okay.
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 And then I'm gonna have so Igor is standing there and he is obviously he's wiped from this trip. He's an old man. He's going to cast a does that do what I think it does? Yeah, he's gonna do a globe of invulnerability on himself.
Yeah. Igor, getting too old for this shit.
All right, Sebastian, you're back up.
Wait.
Oh wait,
all right.
sorry. The boar can take another action at that point, and it's gonna trample Stong.
Legendary action.
Yeah, legendary spirits, legendary action.
Yep.
Okay, so make a dex save.
Dex save? Okay. Please be good. 20.
You dodge.
Oof.
Guys are too dodgy. All right, now it is Sebastian's turn.
Okay. I move up to it.
Sebastian, make me a perception check really quick.
Yeah.
You still do exactly what you're doing, like, but as you're doing
that's
it.
persuasion. Sorry. I can read. I swear. Okay. No.
This thing is so big. You've
That
seen
thing is-
spirits before, and every time, my God, they're so big.
Oh my God. All right. So I instill flame into my sword, and then I stab the beast with the green flame blade. So 21. Does that
That
hit?
hits.
Okay. So let's see. It does. Oh, sorry. Ignore the second roll there. It does. It's 20. Okay, 22. And then a total of 33 damage.
Okay.
Some of which is fire damage. Like 13 of it is fire damage.
Okay, let me see really quick. Okay, so 13 fire damage and 20 from the sword.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then as of Rimyani, if I cast a cantrip, I can then use a bonus action to cast another cantrip. So I'm going to do
Okay.
that again. 14, but
You can do something.
Ooh.
I don't think I have advantage, so I can't necessarily do a reroll of some kind. Let me just see. I don't think there's anything I can do to make that hit. No, unless
Okay.
somebody gave me advantage. Anyway,
It
all
does
right.
miss.
We do have
Okay.
one group inspiration.
How do you feel doing Cecilia's new boyfriend's classic move?
Which one is that?
No, the green flame blade thing. Isn't that what
Oh.
Sebastian does?
A little bit. Like, well, I mean, he has a flaming sword, right? So
Fair.
yeah, I
Maybe
have
you're like, no, this is totally different.
this is totally different. My flames are actually green. His are just red. That's so unoriginal. I don't know what she sees in him. Anyway, I'm using my additional action from haste to disengage. I am gonna pull a stir to get the hell out of dodge.
This is a good move because as you do it, you hit it. Once again, the sword, like, it feels like it's it's like it's resisting it. But it does. The flames do seem to like ignite its strange, ethereally shimmery skin. But it looks back at you, and it screams, "Betrayers!" again. And you get the feeling if you had stayed there, you were gonna get kicked.
I do
But you
want to.
moved too fast for it.
I do want to add. I assume this is not relevant, but since I had absorbed its lightning on the previous round, that charged up my sword, and I dealt an additional 5 lightning damage to it. I don't know if that makes any difference. Probably not.
It does a tiny bit.
Okay, so it's not immune to lightning then.
It
This
doesn't
is good.
seem like
This is
it.
a good thing to know.
It looks even angrier when it comes out.
You made it matter.
Nia, it's resistant to lightning, but not immune. It resistant.
Actually, she probably waved. She's like, "Thank you." She wanted to know that.
Okay, I'm gonna hide behind this rock now. Okay,
I'm actually really surprised.
all right, that's it for me.
Oh.
I figure Stong has got this.
All right, Song.
So
Pours up in your face.
yeah, how big is this creature? Like on the D&D creature size? Like, can I
It
actually grab
feels
it?
like a gargantuan creature.
Ooh, okay. I cannot actually grapple a gargantuan creature, which is fine. I think he would then just try to attack it this round. He wants to test it. So he's going to attack it once for 30.
Okay. That hits.
Second one, 25.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's going to be 24 plus 6. So 30 damage. That is going to be 24 slashing and then 6 force damage.
Okay. So then 6 force. Okay.
There's no way I can actually block this thing from everybody now without using a wall of force. Okay. So that was it.
Okay. The boar is gonna use its legendary action to try to stomp you again.
Okay.
Claw with its claw with its hooves. One of these times you guys won't dodge.
Is that a dex save?
It's a dex save, yes.
23.
Oh, you're so dexterous. The boar is getting angrier.
The dice are with me.
All right, Sturge.
All right, Sturge is going to spring out of hiding. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. He's going to caress the desiccated tongue on the surface of his tome of the stilled tongue and
Gross.
bring forth the haste spell stored within. That's the bonus action. And now he has 2 actions and double move to spend. So he's going to move up to the edge of this thing.
I really should not have given him that book. Anyway.
Move up to the edge of the book, the fellow.
Huh?
And he's going to invoke the booming blade on Mr. Whippy, who is now bound with extra magic. And because it's paying attention to Stong, he gets his sneak attack here. Let's see how it goes.
That hits.
Oh. So let's begin the fun. First, the battle binding. What kind of damage does a battle binding do? Extra piercing or?
It would be extra damage of the type of weapon you're using.
Okay.
And I think we figured out last time that it was 3d6 for Theophel's battle binding. Does that
Yes.
sound right?
For Igor.
Oh,
Igor, sorry. Igor.
5 times your artificer level.
I got 3d6, yeah, from last time.
All right, cool.
Okay, so there's 18, and then the sneak attack is 13, so that's 31. And I believe that's it now with his extra. Oh, I'm sorry. That's
Hold up. Help me with some math here. So you did 12 piercing, 9 thunder, an additional 6 piercing, additional 13 piercing for a total of, did you add it all up?
31.
That
31.
sounds like,
Okay.
well, it looks like 40 if you're counting the thunder damage.
Yeah, 31 piercing.
Oh,
So
I did not
31
do the
piercing, 9 thunder. Total of 40.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't roll the
Sturge, much like
It rolled it
everybody
for you.
else's sort of experience, like you whip Mr. Whippy into it, and while you connect, like it feels like it's sort of pushing the sword out.
Do I see a wound? Did I do something?
It's hard to tell. This thing is not, it's like there, it feels corporeal, but it's almost like it keeps like shimmering over. It is getting agitated, and when you attack it, it does swing its head towards you. And it says, "What are you doing?"
Okay, so now I'm going to use the second action to disengage and boogie over here. And now I roll to see if I stay in this plane. Here comes my my 20-sided die. Did it roll?
It did. You
Yep.
got a 3.
No, I'm still in this plane.
This
Okay.
was my problem with Blink. It never
Yeah.
gave me what I wanted. I hope it does for you.
Okay, so I had 30 feet. I think that's the edge of the map, but I want to be a full 30 feet away from him. 5, 10, 15. Yeah, so I'm a little farther than actually shows here. There. That's to signify 30 feet.
All right.
Did you take your extra action from haste?
Yes.
Okay.
Now that is as far as, so I don't think I heard it. I feel like
You did hurt it some, but because it definitely felt bad, and
Can I-
it definitely doesn't like you.
Can I roll an Arcana to see if I can figure out what sort of damage is getting through and what sort isn't?
Yeah,
Oof, nice.
Oh,
very
wow.
nice.
Oh,
Sturge,
yeah.
you have been studying this battlefield thoroughly. Here is what you've noticed.
Okay.
All the weapon damage, it's hurting it, but it's not hurting it as bad as it seems like it should. All of the sort of, let's see what's happened. Lightning and thunder, yeah,
Mhm.
same thing. It doesn't seem like it's hurting it as bad as it should.
And
Fire does seem like it did some damage.
Okay. Fire's doing all of its damage, like normal damage.
Yeah, that felt normal.
Okay.
And the force damage, that seemed to really smack it.
Okay. Force and fire. Okay.
That's everything everybody's tried so far.
Okay. Force and fire! He yells.
Okay, it's the Boar Spirit's turn. Okay, first question. Does it recharge? Okay, interesting.
we're not as lined up as well as we used to be.
That is true. That was
Mhm.
smart.
Well, we do learn from our mistakes sometimes. Sorry, in the chat, we're talking about riding the boar spirit. And I
I'm
said
sure
we
you'll
are
love that.
we
I
are the
actually thought about
riders.
that.
We are the riders of Swinehalud. So
Yeah, I thought about doing an improvised action to try to like jump on its head and like cling to its neck, but then I didn't know what to do afterwards. So.
It is going. It's got the recharge, so it's going for it. It's going to cast its tusks charge up, and they go through Stong and then through Theophil. So both of you need to make a dexterity saving throw. Dexterity is not
The
Theophil's
9.
strength.
oh, Theophil's too far away from me to help him. Dang it.
Okay, let's hope I don't murder you all.
Theophil, you're gonna die. Man.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I rolled 75 damage.
nice.
He's
Uh,
fine. He's a cleric.
Theophil is fortunate because I couldn't find a good cleric NPC that was suitably high level, so I built him as a PC, so he has more hit points. That really hurt him, but he is not down.
Yeah.
Regretting a little bit that your other helper friends are NPCs, but here we are. Okay, and player character E is Theophil. Okay, Theophil needs to heal some people. Okay. Oh, mass healing word's a bonus action. Okay, so everybody who's hurt, because he can see all of you, he will do the big one because he really got hit. 14. Theophil, come on,
That's
man.
the big one.
That's the big one. I don't roll. He's not rolling so good. And
I'll take it though. I'll take it. Thanks, Phil.
he's really hurt. So he's gonna cast Cure Wounds on himself. Which is 45. The big
Cool.
one for the big group of people, just to be clear. He's trying to hit as many people as possible. Anyway, that's what he gets to do. Now it's Clamont's turn. Clamont, what are you gonna do? I don't think that's gonna help you, my guy. Okay, he's gonna cast Ray of Frost. Why not? Except for it's gonna send me to this thing where I have to figure out what the level of the attack is. No, he's not gonna do that. He's just gonna polymorph again. Why not? Yeah, he'd rather be a bear. He's gonna polymorph into a bear.
You know,
I don't really want to figure out what he's doing.
It's
Anyway,
not a bad idea.
So Artemisia had begun to do a summon a cure wound spell that she could send with Mitzi to Theophil, but she wants to do her own thing. She's worried about herself. She's not good at being a healer. So she's gonna do her telekinesis because she's gonna want that later. So she's just gonna do it now. And rather than do it on herself just yet, because she can move it around, the basket of potatoes that we got from the kitchen, she's gonna lift that and like sort of be like with her telekinesis. So while she's well back, she's gonna be like, "Here's an offering. It is tasty and delicious."
Did you get that close enough to the boar spirit to offer?
No, it's
Okay.
with telekinesis.
Got
So
it.
she's lifting it and is I didn't look up. I think it's like 100 feet or something that she can have the telekinesis going. So she's going to be well back. And
Check some magic.
and she will actually try to be a little bit sort of like not as silly as I was, but sort of like, great spirit. I know that you prefer your offerings to be of great magic or of great prey, and this is what you might like to eat, and so we have brought it, and we hope that you will find it something that you would like.
The boar spirit looks away. It was looking at Sturge, and it swings back to you, and you see that sort of corruption in its eyes. Make me another perception check, actually.
Okay. That is 9.
You can't stop looking at his creepy eyes. It screams again. It says, "You forsake the land, you will kill us all." And then you hear it make that trumpeting noise again, and I have to grab something really quick.
Uh-oh.
Hear a noise out in the woods.
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
A second boar spirit.
Great.
Mom shows up.
Oh god.
Great.
Oh.
Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so suddenly 3 regular boars come charging out of the woods.
Great.
They are also very angry.
Great.
This one's gonna come up here, which you can't see yet, but there it is. Ugh, guys, look at me using layers. Aren't you proud?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
These
All right.
boars look corrupted also.
No,
No,
they just
regular
look like boars, but they do look like they want to fight you. They aren't like looking for. They're like, "Ooh, are there truffles around here?" They're mad.
These boars aren't rooting for truffles. They would prefer to pull out people's livers. Yeah. Sorry, that was real dark. All right.
Yeah.
Igor is going to. He can move when he has that thing on him, right?
Yeah. It moves with
perfect.
them.
He is gonna go over to Theophil. Gonna hobble over to Theophil. If I can just grab a thing.
Oh, would the globe stop that lightning bolt from hitting Theophil?
Maybe. Why are you not grabbing the thing? Because I'm still on the GM layer. Okay. He goes over to Theophil and he reaches out a hand and he casts stone skin on him. And he is standing close enough to Theophil to hopefully protect him. He says, "You fool! It's too strong. We should run." Theophil says, "We cannot run. It is in danger." And now, it's Sebastian's turn, but Sturge, what's your question?
Can Sturge shout something during Sebastian's turn?
I'll allow it.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Sebastian can choose whether he hears you or not.
Okay,
Yeah,
Sturge is going to shout, "Sebastian, move east or get burned!"
It is.
Shit. Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. All right. This is what I'm going to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 25 feet. And then I'm going to green flame blade it again.
Okay.
So here we go. All right. I'm gonna guess that 26
That
hits.
Does hit.
All right. So it looks like 9 piercing, 9 fire, and then 8 additional piercing. Oof, rolled real low there. So total of 17 piercing, 9 fire.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that again with my Vermyani ability. Okay, I think a 28 probably hits.
You guys are rolling so good.
Yeah. Don't jinx it. Okay.
Except I can't perceive things.
So that's gonna be
But when we roll bad, we take like 75 lightning damage to the face.
okay. That's
Even
gonna
when
be
you roll
29 piercing damage and 7 fire damage.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna disengage again with my haste action, and I'm gonna run away because I've been watching Sturge, and I know how this works.
Bravely ran away.
I'm just at the edge of the stream, so if you catch me in a fireball, I will just dive into the stream.
It is your turn, Stong.
Okay, so previously when he slashed it with his sword, did the sword actually did it feel like there was any sort of flesh there? Like, could it actually
Yes.
catch?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't feel. It feels weird. Like it's almost like you're cutting through a really soft cheese. Like there's not as much, but it's pushing you back. It's weird. It's not like cutting into an animal, but it is definitely corporeal enough to stab and grab and also slices.
So if he wanted to actually stab his sword into it in a way and leave it inside of the boar, does he, when he previously slashed it, does he feel like the sword would get pushed out?
I think you think it's worth a try.
Okay, sure.
As far as you know, it'll stay in.
Okay. So
You're gonna
He
make me look
likes-
stuff up.
Artemisia's food things, he sees the food there. He's going to try to take one hand and just throw some food up in the air, maybe as a distraction. And I want to actually try to leap up on the boar's snout and run on top of its back. I want to stab my sword downward into it and then jump off the back of its butt.
How many actions is that?
I mean, it's really just okay. I don't have to do the food thing. Really, I guess it's
Okay.
a movement. A movement.
To move.
I'll jump
and then
onto
it-
its head.
Okay.
and then run across its back. The only action there, I think, is want to stab my sword into its back and leave it there.
Okay. Sure.
So, I mean, I could roll like athletics or acrobatics if you.
Oh yeah. How do we do this? Because it's not gonna hold still.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do an athletics check, and it's going to do a dex save, or what?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
I don't know what I want. This is a fascinating problem, but I love it. Okay. So give me your athletics check. I'm sure it's gonna be godlike.
Ooh, can I use that inspiration group? Do you guys care?
Yeah,
I'm gonna give
do it.
you Flash of Genius and give you +4 bonus.
+4. Okay, I'm gonna use the inspiration. 26 + 4, 30.
30. Yeah. Boom.
You definitely do it.
Okay.
The boar rolled a 1, so
Okay, well, sweet.
but you went ahead and did stuff, so that's how it goes. You jump up, but the boar is like leaned down, like looking in your face in a menacing way, and it absolutely positions itself perfectly for you to jump up on its snout, onto its back, just fine.
Stomp. Okay, now he wants to just shove his sword downward
Mhm.
and just leave it there. So would that just
Okay.
be like a regular attack?
Yes.
Oh, wait. 32.
Okay.
14 plus 1, 15. So 1 force and 14 slashing.
Okay.
So like for a second, so like, he stabs into it, and then the second attack he just tries to stab in deeper. 16.
That does hit.
10 plus 4 force, so 14. 10 slashing, 4 force, and he leaves his sword, jumps off.
I am not sure mechanically what happens to leaving the sword in. Like, I don't think it can continue to do damage,
No.
but I assume you're like anchoring for something.
Yeah.
So, all right. Surge, it's your turn.
Well, okay. Is stone fireproof? I forget.
Fire resistant.
Okay.
Does he give him the nod?
Sure, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's
Okay.
coordination.
What's this thing
Yes.
here? This thing.
Those are the potatoes.
This is the potato basket. I quietly made it while it was somebody else's turn.
I like it.
Very cute.
Hostile wants to
Okay.
give bling bling for the tiny baby boars. They want them to get truffles.
Done.
Okay, I think Sturge's plan.
Oh, I forgot the boar had inspiration. I should have re-roll. I wouldn't have been able to re-roll against that 30 though.
Oh.
It wouldn't have been able to beat the 30. Sorry, go ahead, Sturge.
Okay, so Sturge is going to run past this boar here next to Ston, so it's gonna get an opportunity attack,
Okay.
and then
Uh,
he gets as far as that.
okay, as it goes past you, it's gonna slash at you with its tusks.
I have a 21 AC right now because
Wow! Okay, never mind that. I just assumed.
that's good. Sorry, 19 because of haste, not 21.
Oh, then you do get hit for 3 with the tusk.
For 3 damage.
Yeah.
Oh, I can deal with that. Okay, and then he's gonna lay down a fireball.
Okay.
Boom. See how it likes that.
Okay, and it has to make a dexterity save?
That is correct.
Thank you, Bagek, for the Prime subscription.
Sweet.
Is it
Thank you.
19 save?
Yes.
Okay.
And the damage is half of this.
Oof.
Oh boy.
15.
Sturgeon really hates you now.
He doesn't know I did that. It's very ambiguous where that came from.
It's
Oh,
not
it takes-
stupid.
Okay.
It's either you or it's Sebastian.
How does Stong look now?
He looks fairly hurt, winded, burnt from lightning, and a little singed from fire, but
But not so bad. I mean, did the fire?
bloody.
I can run over and heal you. It's not a big problem.
Okay, so I still have one more move I can do.
All right.
So I'm gonna test out see how it responds to cold. I'm gonna do a chill touch. Send a little cryptic
Necrotic
little
damage.
hand over.
Chill touch
Oh,
is
it's-
neither chill nor a touch. It doesn't do cold damage. It does necrotic.
Sorry, do I have? No, I don't. So it'll just be. Oh God, I was confusing Sturge with another character I play in a different game.
Sturge's
Yeah.
magic has no chill.
Just for fun, I'm gonna send over, see how necrotic damage does on this thing.
Okay.
Send over a creepy hand to poke it in the big sniffy nose. How'd it do? Did it hit?
Is that 5 damage if it hit?
Yeah. If
Okay.
it hit.
So that does seem to hurt it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it can't recover hit points for a while, right?
That's right for a round.
That's gonna suck if you guys kill it.
Yeah.
The hand is
Non-lethal is
now,
always a thing.
the hand is now grabbing onto its snout.
Thrashing around.
I got your nose, got
Okay,
your nose, got
it's-
your nose.
You hear it. That noise, that horrible, like trumpeting roar, and it says, "Stop the invaders!" And the boars are gonna come after you now.
Oh, how
Did
did the
that-
boars do? The two of the boars got a fireball in there.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
Oh, fair. Which two got the fireball? Oh, they see those two. Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Ba-ba-ba. All right. Okay, so this one does not make it. That boar is probably very dead.
Oh, it smells good, doesn't it?
This one,
Bacon.
Smells a lot like burning human flesh.
they're gonna find
Interesting.
truffles in
How do you know it?
boar heaven. Wow, the boars are rolling real bad. All right.
2 dead boars?
Two dead boars.
You
This
monster.
one's left. How far away is it?
They just had their
you guys
truffles,
are just out
And you
of
cooked
reach.
both the
but
pork and the truffles.
Stong's not. I'm gonna move these guys. This is pig heaven over here. I'll fix them in a minute. This one, Stong, you've been hurting the boar spirits. It's gonna run over here and it's going to charge at you. And it's gonna make an attack with its tusks. It does 8. It's an 18 hit.
No.
Okay. So we
19
did it
AC.
fast, but it didn't work. All right. And okay, so this one is Clement. He can't go very far as a bear.
Go, Clement, bear spirit.
That's about as far as he can go, I think. Let me double check. Oh no, these are different. Okay, so yeah, he can go to here. So he's gonna run up
Oh.
here.
I'm sorry, I forgot to roll to see if I'm in the ethereal plane. I'm going to do that.
That's right. I also
That would
forgot
be
to. I keep forgetting to make you
super
guys make
useful.
perception
Two.
checks.
Whoa. You rolled a d10 and got a 2, and then you rolled a d20 and got a 2.
Focus.
What?
He keeps not blinking out.
Yeah,
Fate has decided.
it's going to pay off soon. I'm telling you.
Okay. So the boar spirit is going to. Oh wow! I haven't done this yet. He's gonna run up here and Sturge, you
Okay.
fireballed it. It's not happy. He's gonna hit you with its try to hit you with its lightning tusks.
Yeah. Ouch.
19 AC.
26.
Yeah, that
Whoa.
hits. Wait.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that does this much piercing damage and this much lightning damage. So it does 21.
21 total.
Yeah, and then it's gonna rear back and stomp on you with its hooves.
Oh.
Ooh.
So I have a cunning action I could use to
Okay.
take half damage. I think I'll do that with the one I know already hit.
You mean an uncanny dodge?
Uncanny dodge. Yeah, that's my reaction.
Meyer Duck, he is so stealthy, even the ethereal plane can't find him.
Good
That's real
one.
good. That's real good.
Okay, so 15 to hit.
Miss.
Okay, I'm gonna be a jerk because I got that inspiration, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use it.
Yes,
again.
do it.
Bam.
I mean,
12. It didn't go better.
Aw.
Oh.
ooh.
Fortunately for you, you get hit by those tusks, but you see the hooves coming. Serge, also,
Nice.
can you make me a perception check really quick?
Yep. Here it comes.
So when it rears up, right, and it's about to come down and you're like dodging under, you notice something that you didn't see before is that there is a very intricate knot of something tied around its leg. It looks like a cord that's almost the color of its fur, if it's the kind of bluish. And it definitely looks like some weird magic,
Like a friendship bracelet?
like an evil friendship bracelet.
Okay, so a nimble rogue with a very sharp, long rapier could perhaps slice that thing.
Maybe.
He's gonna try next round.
Okay.
He's going to point it out too. Evil magic, right forehoof.
Back leg.
Oh, back leg. Which
Back
one?
left hoof, actually, just to be clear.
The opposite of what I just said.
Oh, okay.
Back left hoof, evil, curse magic, bracelet.
Hostile pointed out the most evil friendship bracelet you ever did see.
Okay. And Stong, you are very injured, correct?
Pretty injured.
Get over there and help.
Been more injured, but how injured does this boar spirit look?
It's pretty bad. You see like wisps of energy sort of pouring off it instead of blood. It's like throwing its head around in a way that's seems extra agitated. And actually, that is a good reminder. I need to do a quick bit of math here. Because something happens. Something's happening. It's interesting the path you guys have chosen. I mean that in a good way, mostly. Okay.
Well, Cecilia kept telling us not to trust anybody in Rashomon, so if they say we need to save the boar spirit, it means we need to obviously kill it, right, guys?
Oh no!
Because you know we can't trust anybody in Rashomon.
You'll notice Artemisia hasn't done like any damage spells on it because she's like, oh, the poor spirit.
Okay. How much would Theophil be a pain in the butt? That's the question.
Based on his characterization so far, like 98% pain in the butt.
Agreed. I'm gonna add +2 and just say at 100%.
Okay, he's seen you guys beating up on the boar spirit. You see him sort of reach out and he casts a spell. He casts Sanctuary on the boar. He's like, you cannot kill it! You need to slow it down! So he just made your jobs a lot harder, sorry.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Wait, counterspell. I'm kidding.
Good, yeah.
No, I already used my reaction.
Oh. Da, 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 da. Having these NPCs as NPCs is interesting but also tricky. All right, I am gonna actually. You guys are doing fine. So Clement is just gonna position himself in front of Artemisia because he's like that. Artemisia, it is your turn.
Okay.
He's just racking up points in front of Sebastian with Artemisia.
Hmm.
So Artemisia is gonna move up a little bit because what she wants to do is the little normal boar. She wants to transfer her telekinesis to that. So put the potatoes down, get the little normal boar, and it has to succeed in a check. But if it fails, she wants to pick it up, and it can go 30 feet. So she can't take it to the river. So she wants to put it in the tree.
Nice.
Like on a wedged in a couple branches, so it's just like sitting there. It can't get down.
Okay,
It's
what
like,
is the
I will
check?
avenge my brethren. Wait, the ground.
So it's an opposed check, my spellcasting ability, and the creature's strength.
Okay.
And I can't do it on the boar spirit because it's only huge or smaller. So I got to do a
The
little bit.
boar rolled a 4.
Nice.
So that's 15
Okay. So you're gonna move this little boar spirit.
over to the tree here.
I love that. He's up in the tree. He's kicking and squealing. The boar spirit. Or wait, sorry. Are you finished with your turn?
Yeah.
First question. So the boar spirit realizes this is happening, and says, "I will not fight alone." And it summons more boars.
Dang it! I'm trying to help you out here, man.
You're gonna decorate that tree with boars.
You just do like a board tree. Love it. All right. Well, fortunately, it actually that worked out really well. This time it only summoned 2 boars, so I don't have to take the one out of the tree. This river's not that deep, it turns out. Okay. And then let's say that Igor is doing something while I figure out how long these things take. And it's Sebastian's turn!
Awesome. My computer has chosen this moment to be weird about my internet, so hold on one second.
That's the Boar song, if you were curious.
Okay, striking the board doesn't seem like what I really want to do just at the moment. Because I think Theophil might be right. He's often right, as much as that is annoying to me and to everyone at the Outrunning Rocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disengage and I'm going to run past the Boar Spirit.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
That will run you
4.
past that little boar, so it's gonna do its little mighty boar best.
Well, I disengaged, so no.
But you
no opportunity
disengage
attacks.
from the boar spirit, and
No,
then
I
you went
disengaged
past.
in general.
That's a thing you can do. You can disengage into somebody else. That seems bananas.
Yeah, disengage is just no opportunity attacks. Right? I'm understanding
Is
that
it?
correctly, right?
Yeah.
Well, we check.
Yeah. No, I think so.
That's it. That's
Anyway,
wild. Thanks
gonna
for
run over
teaching me
here.
something.
I'm going to run over here and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on Stone.
All right.
Because he is looking beat up. All right.
Man, sorry, I'm really trying to figure out what to do.
Okay,
Not to kill this
20
thing.
healing for you, Stong.
Oh, thank you.
And
Bastion,
then
You're an all
let's
right
see.
guy.
Thanks. And I think that's it. Well, I'm gonna move a little and move away from Stong just in case the boar spirit attacks both of us with something. All right, that's it for me.
Okay,
Try and unbind it. Don't hurt it
Done.
anymore.
it's your turn.
Yeah, so Stong heard the words of Artemisia and everybody else. Okay. Man.
Well, and he also would have heard Sturge about the bracelet on the back
Yeah.
foot, right?
Yeah. So can Stong actually see the bracelet?
Sturge shouted at you, back left, hoof.
Yeah.
I feel like make a perception check, but with advantage.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give you a very high. Yeah, you
22.
super see exactly what he's talking about.
So here's the part that's like confusing to me, I guess. So
Mhm.
if Stong tries to run up and interact with this object,
Mhm.
how does that work with the sanctuary?
That's a good question.
Because like,
You're not attacking him.
You aren't attacking it. That's a good point. You're attacking the object, and the object doesn't have sanctuary.
okay. So Stong, after seeing the object, he's going to run up to the boar, and he's thinking to himself, "Boy, I wish I were smaller right now." But he's going to like try to like dive and then catch that back foot of the boar
Mhm.
with the bracelet, and he's gonna try to tear it off.
Okay. I guess make me a strength check.
29, natural
Nice.
20.
You grab this thing just exactly in the weak point, and it snaps. You see this burst of dark magic come out. You see it kind of like pull out and start flowing out of the wounds of the boar, and the boar, which looks like it was just about to trample Sturge again, sort of stumbles and sort of sits back, and it kind of falls over. It doesn't look like it's dead, fortunately. And Theophil runs up to it, and he does not scream at you, so it's good. But this is a wonderful time to take a break, and I will tell you what happened to the boar spirit after, so stay around!
Yes. Well done.
All right, see you
All
in a
right,
bit.
so we'll be back in 10 minutes.
10.
Welcome back! So we have finished the fight with the boar spirit. We're about to see what happens now, but before we do, we're gonna remind you real quick, we have some giveaways going on, which I just totally forgot to remind Steven to do that. So
problem.
I'm just gonna patter for a minute. How do you
Wonderful.
guys like
Yeah.
fighting a giant gargantuan boar spirit?
Oh, that was fun. That was awesome.
Was it as much fun as schmoozing from Yanni
I would love to
Okay.
fight 2 of these.
at the same time?
Yeah, actually. I love
Noted.
it. I love it.
So our giveaways are 2 of them. One is the dice set and tray from Phoenix Dice. For that, you type in !ticket into the chat here, and you'll be entered into it, and we'll announce the winner at the end of this. And for the other giveaway, you type in !enter, and that is to win a copy of the ebook, The Wasp Child, YA science fiction novella by Rhiannon Rasmussen, different Rhiannon. And we'll announce that at the end of this game, but there's also a giveaway for another copy of that in Discord. So check out the tavern in Discord and you can enter there. That's our giveaways.
Awesome. Okay, so you have successfully removed the corruption from the boar spirit. I do want to note, just out of meta, out of combat, out of game, that if you had just pulled that binding at the very beginning, it wouldn't have done enough. You needed to soften it up too. There were other things you could do that would also, I basically made up a thing where I'm like, it has this many corruption points, and these are the things that will remove corruption points,
nice.
and you're just gonna have to figure it out.
Oh, she did loosen the jarlet, maybe then.
You
Yeah,
did.
you did.
You
That was awesome.
definitely did.
Did beating it up lowered
Yeah.
the corruption on it? Oh, okay,
Mhm.
nice.
That basically you
Solution.
just made it like sort of. It's not nice, but you made it not sort of split its mind a little bit.
Mhm.
So it's like ow, ow, instead of the land is being destroyed, kind of. So the boar is sort of lying on its side. Theophil's come up to it, and you hear it. It's breathing very heavily, which is strange because it is a sort of ethereal, elemental kind of creature. You don't think it probably needs to breathe, but it does seem so far to have behaved like a boar. And it says, you hear it say, and this is another thing to note, that when the boar spirit talks, what you hear is your language of birth. So Stong, you're hearing Orcish, Sebastian, you're hearing Rashemi, Artemisia, and Sturge, I'm assuming Common, but maybe Aglarandan is a separate language that I've forgotten about. But at any rate, it just sounds like perfectly natural. But it says, you see it sort of lift its head and it looks back at Theophil. And so those of you who are, where you can see it, because if it's kind of, well, I can't bend the token, like it swings its head around. Like it doesn't have that sort of like maddened kind of hate where it doesn't seem to be perceiving reality correctly, but it does look really intense and angry. And it says, "What is the offering?"
I got
Theophil
this basket of
Kind of
potatoes.
looks back
Mhm.
like, oh no.
Sturge has the axe of Igor.
Igor, you have Igor's axe? I
Yeah.
thought Stong had Igor's axe.
Stone
Oh.
does.
Oh, Stong does. Okay.
Igor gives you the nod.
Stong draws the axe and he brings it forward in both hands and he sort of prostrates himself in front of the boar spirit.
It plants one huge hoof on the axe, slams it down. It bends its head over as if it's going to root through the ground, but you see the axe sort of dissolve,
Whoa.
and the very essence of it, the magic, it sort of flows back into the boar spirit. And when it's done, it does seem almost as if it's healed. It's not leaking that magic the way it was. And you see it sort of raise its head. It says, "The offering is acceptable."
Well, in that case, can I have my sword back?
Allow me.
I don't think a boar can bend its head
Well,
back and like grab it, so it's gonna lower down.
Artemisia could also telekinesis it if you want.
Yes.
Okay. So
Less
she
awkward than me stepping on it again.
she carefully sort of pulls it out and then floats it over to Stong.
No, thank you.
So from here, it actually sort of backs up and it turns, and it's breathing heavily again. It's kind of coughing. It looks around at all of you, and actually it stops on you, Sebastian.
Uh-oh. Mhm.
It comes forward and it lowers its head and opens it kind of like roots at you like a pig, and then it opens its mouth very wide. you look inside and up into its mouth, up into its hard palate. You see what looks like a big splinter, like almost like part of a spear,
Ooh.
but
Mhm.
it's weird.
Does it look like the spear that Fiafel had?
It does not.
Okay.
Hmm.
In
That's
fact,
good.
if it looks like anything, it looks kind of like that weird plant. It's got a green
Oh.
glittery quality to it.
Okay.
It says to you, it lifts its head back up for a second and looks at you. It says, "This is a remnant of another self, another time. It lingers, it pains me. It tastes of fear, something unfamiliar. But I
I-
taste the same curse on you, the same pain. So you will take it." It lowers its head again and opens its mouth.
I will try and remove it. Yes. So can I reach it from where I am?
Yeah, you gotta like real lean into its mouth.
Well, I also know Mage Hand, although my Mage Hand is not quite the same as Sturge's Mage Hand. So
Your
Like-
god says, "Put your head in my mouth," and you mage hand it. Noted.
no, I just reach in. I'm like, all right. Trusting you, Boar. I know you eat human flesh.
All right, you pull it out. It definitely reminds you of that weird little vine. Make me a dexterity save.
Oh, good. It's my favorite.
As you're pulling,
I'm going to use my stroke of genius on myself to make
Yeah.
that a 17 rather than a 13.
okay, you it skims your thumb, but you don't actually cut yourself with it.
Oh, good. Oh, man.
And he looks at you, the boar looks at you again and sniffs you. It says, "The same curse, the same pain." Then it's gonna turn to Fiafel. Fiafel takes out a little package and offers it to the boar. He's gonna look over at Artemisia and be like, "You gonna do anything when he does that?" You don't know what that means. That's okay.
Okay. Well, so she's gonna assume that he wants her to like levitate, telekinesis it over to the boar, the package,
Okay.
or is it the potatoes? Because she assumes like the potatoes are don't.
I'll
Insight
just
check?
give it to you. Insight
Okay.
check. That's perfect.
Okay. That
Turn on the music.
Oh, my God. Is it not on? It's not on. Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
Also, open your chat, my guy.
Oh, my God.
What's your insight check?
dirty 20.
Okay, he's definitely eyeballing the potatoes. He thinks we should just add the potatoes to the mix.
Okay.
I've been wondering if you're going to offer me those potatoes.
What is that? The other spirit?
she believed in it. She believed in him. Like, but then like it seemed like it wanted the axe, so she'll bring over the potato or telekinesis over the potatoes.
So like the axe
Okay.
is the main course, but the potatoes are the dessert, and we
Yeah,
all love
there you go.
dessert.
Again, it's sort of like it moves like it's gonna eat them, but they dissolve. It sort of almost tears them apart with some unseen force, and they flow into it. And again, it seems like this is helping to heal it a little bit. It looks up at Fiafel. It looks into his eyes. It says, "There is prophecy on them." And then it turns and it gallops off into the forest. And as it gallops, you see it kind of start to dissipate, like it's sort of flowing back into the forest.
Cool.
Okay. So,
Stong wants to go over to this tree, and he's gonna like. If he reaches up, can I even just grab the boar that's on the tree? Or can I just
As big
gesture?
as you are, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The boar was summoned by this god. The god just ditches and leaves the boar up in the tree. It's like, oh.
I help those who help themselves.
Yeah, Star's gonna put the little boar down, and then like give him a little pat and say there, and then point at the. Are there any leftover potatoes?
Let's say, yeah, some of them rolled out.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna point at one of the leftover potatoes.
The other boars are gonna come find potatoes. And there's some poor boars eating potatoes.
Yeah, I think you
Yes.
brought those.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Dong,
Hmm?
may I see the bracelet?
Oh yeah. Stong's gonna lean down and then just hand it.
I want to hold it up where Fiafil can see it and also examine it. What can I discern just by looking at it, maybe with Arcana or something?
So with Arcana, you can tell that this was some kind of a magical binding. That this was somehow pulling a different kind of magic into the boar spirit, potentially harming it. And Igor and Fiafil look at it and kind of nod at each other, and they say, "This is Dirthan magic.
Mm.
They make a weapon of it. They have not done this before, I think. We have not seen this with the spirits. Just the minor ones."
Why? What is their purpose?
Igor kind of plays his hand and says, they wish Rashomon to be different. They said we were strong once. Why do we wait? Why do we cower? They make weapons of the things which are our protectors.
And then the weapons turn against you. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Clement is turned back into a person, and he says, "Sometimes experiments go wrong, good or bad."
All right.
Sebastian, are you going to show anybody what you got?
Oh yeah, I'm happy to offload this plant thing onto somebody else. I show it to Igor. I trust Igor most.
Igor looks at it, and he says, "This is like what you found.
Yes.
You looked at it the same way."
The boar spirit said I bore the same curse, same pain. Might have something to do with me. I do not know.
Igor looks at you, sort of alarmed, and says, "Has anyone looked at you the same way?"
I do not think so.
Maybe we should do dispel magic on you, just in case. Oh, I guess you probably don't want to dispel magic on whatever items you have, but take those off and then I'll.
Does anyone want to look in my mouth? Ah.
So Fiafil has been standing here silent.
Well, shit,
At this-
I said that in front of
this
Phil,
point,
didn't I?
he's gonna pull up his mask, and he's going to look at you all. And he says, in a voice that's very different than the way he's been speaking to you. It's almost plaintive. He says, "Why are you really here? The Oath Lord says you are not a danger to the spirits. The spirits say there is prophecy on you. You are being given promises by the spirits what is this? What? Why are you here? This is not to find, Ilya. You are not here to make trouble, so what is it? What is happening?
Perhaps the spirits mean us to follow the trail of this evil magic, and stop it. So perhaps we should leave here and search out those who made this magic, and stop them from doing any more of it. What another spirit told me where to go. So if we can get the witch's permission to leave, we'll go there.
Here to find a spell nobody knew was happening. What is this thing? Igor, what is happening?
Excuse me. Do you think that my friends and I can have a moment to talk? We just went through a very, very difficult battle. We just hurt really badly, and we just need to have a moment to
You are gigantic. I feel like you start this move, but you made an insight check. What are you looking for here?
I want to. Is Theophil? Do I feel like he's becoming more trust? He seems to be trusting us more now that the beast said there was prophecy on us. It didn't damn us.
Yeah.
So does it basically can we trust him to not freak out?
You 16 is a tricky number. So there's a thing about Theophil, right? He's really a hard ass, very clearly. But you think, I feel like Sturge, you know people. I feel like you can tell that if there's one thing that's really important to Theophil, it's Rashomon. And right now, he seems worried. He seems like he wants to know what's going on, because what he really wants is to help Rashomon. You don't get a sense from Theophil that he's like Nikafor is kind of showing off, right? The witches, maybe they're a little into their own authority. But for Theophil, it's not that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Is he?
depends. Are you helping Rashomon?
How's he responding to Stong's request that we get to huddle for a second?
He seems a little befuddled. And, like, not thrilled with it, but he's also not moving to stop you.
Okay. Well. All right. So let's.
You all gonna huddle with Stong?
Yep.
I am part of the team, am I? Yes.
Come on, Sebastian.
Yeah, I just came over like it was a natural thing, and then I was only thought of it afterward. Like, was I supposed to be here? I guess I was.
Yeah, we definitely need your advice.
Sturge will share what he feels, what he learned from thinking about it.
But that was exactly my question that I wanted to discuss was, do you think we could trust these people with the truth now?
I think we have to.
I don't know about the witches, but
Yeah, well, the witches aren't here, so I think we should trust them with the information and then leave.
And he might be able to help us. I mean, and even advise us if he thinks our mission's important enough. He might even say, "Okay, I will cover for you with the witches or something, and here's what you should do." I don't know, but he.
Look, I recognize the love you have for Theophil, but he is difficult to predict. If you are truly confident in your ability to reason with him, yes, by all means, but you take care.
Is there one amongst these that's more trustworthy than the others? Sebastian?
question, you can make an insight check.
Okay, I'll do that.
I mean,
I give
Clement
you.
already
I also
knows, so.
give you advantage. Oh, that's right. You did tell Clement. I'll also give you advantage. All right, 26.
Oh, geez.
Nice.
All right, he asks you that, and you're kind of racking your brain. You're thinking back all the people you know. You know, there's Nikafort. Nope, bad idea. There's Rufum. No, that's not a good plan. Matfei? No, Matfei totally flipped on you. There's these three guys, and you feel like Clement has shown himself to be trustworthy. You feel like Igor is making up for things, for mistakes he made, and this is related in a big way. And you think Sturge's impression of Feophil, while probably through a lens of someone who thinks Feophil's pretty cool, that does sort of ring true. Like, Feophil is a true believer in all ways, which makes him really frustrating and scary. But you think if you explain, like, Rashomond's gonna be ended if you don't manage this, he might actually understand.
Well, I shall support you in whatever you wish to do.
I mean, I think we tell them, and then we get out of here. It would be nice to rest, but I think we need to not be back in sort of the witch's influence. So we need somebody to sort of like guide us out of here. Sebastian, are you gonna come with us to the Dirthens?
I am not sure that I belong here anymore. We did just attack a nature spirit.
You did attack it first.
Gusto.
You were like eagerly, like, hey, it's my god. Ba-bam.
Wounded and corrupted it might have been, but my first impulse was to strike it, not to try and help it. I think I would like to come with you, if I may.
So, is everybody okay with Artemisia being spokesperson?
Please.
Okay.
Don, you look like you're thinking of something else. Is there something else that you need to say before?
I think Stong basically just generally says that Cecilia kept telling us not to trust anybody here, and I'm wondering why. Because they all seem harsh, but some of these people seem right. But the other part of it is just also like that boar spirit. Remember, Lazar had something to do with the boar spirit. So I'm wondering if it's that boar spirit, like if there's one boar spirit, or if there's like multiple boar spirits.
No, I think there'd be one.
So it was like that boar spirit that he did something to, like back in the
Well,
Correct.
he with the spear probably.
Right.
Oh,
And
right.
that's the curse that Sebastian bears too. Comes from Lazar as well. That's the
So why did the boar spirit come back now?
Well, because of the Dirthens must have layered something on top of it with their curse bracelet.
oh, and maybe their curse bracelet malfunctioned because of the thing in its mouth. If that thing in its mouth hadn't been there, whatever they were trying to do to weaponize it might have worked instead of
Oh, maybe.
backfire.
Yeah. But why would the Dirthens want to activate it now? Like, they must have some sort of plot that they're pushing right now. We just happen to stumble into it? Or do you think, like, our very presence itself is, or has caused them to initiate this plan? Because the boar spirit was clearly yelling at us that we were, like, invaders in the forest. It's very clearly, like raging because of outsiders.
I mean,
It's
so
hard to
Artemisia was just assuming that the Dirthens had been doing their experiments on it and it like got away. Because when we got here, they were already talking about how like the spirits are kind of like weird and restless and whatever. So maybe it's got away from the Durthans and then has been sort of like rampaging around a little bit, and then it finally arrived when we got here. Or maybe we pulled its attention because of being outsiders. But I mean, your question seems like a good one to answer, but I think we answer it by going to the Durthans.
Yeah, or ask some of these brothers, really, because I definitely want you to be the mouth.
Okay.
All right. The boars have eaten the rest of the potatoes and gone off into the forest by the time you turn around. Theophil is still waiting.
Okay. So Artemisia is going to turn around, and she's going to sort of like gather herself, and then she's going to give kind of the abbreviated explanation that she gave Clement in terms of, we are not in fact looking for the Cecilia of this universe. We are looking for an evil one of another universe who changed at a crucial step, and perhaps it was with the Durthans, at which time she changed and became evil. And so our goal here, and what will help you and this forest and this land seems to be aligned, because we need to find out what happened with our Cecilia and the Durthans, and we also need to find out what the Durthans are doing now. And so we need to not be delayed by the witches. We need to go and investigate, and the spirits told us where to find the Durthans. So clearly that's what they want. And then she'll end with Stong's question about do they feel that the Durthans are have some kind of plan that they're enacting that we triggered by coming in as outsiders?
I do not know this. What the Durthans do is a question that not even the McLaren know. They are a die yet unthrown, we say. They think they are helping Rashomon, but they use the spirits, we say Telthors, to their advantage. This is grasping at things we have lost. It is dangerous, but perhaps I don't know what they are doing. What I know is that I will do anything for Rashomon. And I think perhaps sometimes the McLaren forget what needs to be done, and what you are telling me is that if this golden raven succeeds, then everything, including Rashomon, is in danger.
Exactly.
So we must take extraordinary measures. Did you tell him about the siphoning spell?
Yes, because that seems like something they might offer information about.
You looked at this thing. She points at the broken spear. Have you looked at it the same way you looked at the plant?
That was stung with true seeing, right?
Yep.
Do you have it, or are you all out of spell slots?
I am all out of spell slots. I only
We'll
have one
do
6th
that
level.
tomorrow.
Oh, he's all bloody, so he's gonna really use
he
a long
says-
rest.
These boys, they are such bad planners. Also the girl. He offers, he does know tree seeing. Would you like him to look?
Yes.
Please.
Okay. So he's gonna cast true seeing. He's gonna look at it, and you see his expression shift. And he's sort of turning, looking at it.
Oh, thank you for the spell slot, Hostile.
Awesome.
You want to look too?
Yeah, let's both look. Just in case
There
he's
we go.
lying to us.
Bondo.
But I'm not going to tell him that I'm casting it.
Okay. You see, much like before, a swirling ball of sort of light and shadow And periodically, you see Lazar's face. And you guys did not take. Did you take the plant, or did you give it to the Wicklaran?
The Wicklaran have the plant now.
Okay. It does look very similar, although make me an insight check.
Anybody? Or-
Stong, you
Okay.
can see it, so.
Oh, natural 1.
That right there looks a lot like Lazar. Theophil is gonna look over at Sebastian. And he peers at you and he says, "The Boar said you bore the same curse. Do you know what it means?"
Do not. I am racking my brain trying to figure out what it might mean. I'm gonna make an insight check and just see if I come up with something.
Stong, if you want to make a perception check, you could too.
Sure. Dirty 20.
Stong, something in the back of Sebastian, like right here, there's like a little glowing thread.
Oh, jeez.
Sebastian,
Oh my god. Yes, friend stuff.
come here. I wanna tell you something.
All right. Hello.
He's gonna like gently take his head and then just turn it slightly and look at the back of his neck.
There's like a splinter.
Oh, you got like a little splinter of something right here. Let me just try to take it out for you.
With your huge fingers, just
Like one of those pincher claw crane machines.
I mean, Artemisia is gonna like come over. She won't get there before you do it, but if you want to stop, she will use her little like dainty fingers.
Okay. Whatever
You'll
doesn't
have to
hurt
kind of
Sebastian. Basically.
Point it out to you where it is, because it does sort of disappear in Sebastian's hair there, but you yank it. It has a kind of a glittery green quality. And actually, as you hold it up, it suddenly peels off your fingers. Like you feel like, I dropped it. But Stong, you see this little ball of light that flows back into the thing that Theophil is holding. Now, when you see Lazar's face flash by, you can see his mouth is moving, like he's talking.
It went back into the spear, and now Lazar's face seems to be rejuvenated from it. Like
These are
before it wasn't
pieces.
moving or talking, and now it seems to be like kind of moving its face.
You're saying something? I cannot understand. I cannot. It's.
Oh, we need the plant. We should add the plant. If we could get it away from the Wicklaran. Clement, can you go get it from your mom? Secret like.
Theophil
Clement
gives
is not
Clement-
dead. Yay.
Clement a look. He says, he looks at Igor and Clement. He says, they will need supplies. If you go back, you find things for them. When you bring this, we will get them out of here. Go quickly. And Igor actually like grabs Clement, and they're gonna just teleport because Igor's got a lot of spells that he wasn't willing to use. But
Because we did all the work for you.
you don't want NPCs
No,
showing
no,
up and
no.
mashing up the big
No,
bad. So it's good that they don't want to murder it.
Yeah.
Sebastian, when they pulled that, like it's almost like a headache you didn't know you had disappears, and for a second
Huh.
you suddenly remember Lazar, and Lazar sort of leaning over you in between those like flashes of sort of domination and the memory magnification that he did to you. You kind of remember that feeling of someone pulling magic through you without your
Ugh.
being willing for it.
They feel very uncomfortable.
Unless Sebastian stops her, Artemisia wants to put her hand on the back of his neck where the splinter came out and just do a dispel magic to see if it like hits anything. She's sort of expecting it'll come back like it didn't find anything, but
Much like before, it does. It doesn't seem like there's something lingering here. The spell that was cast is complete.
Okay.
There was just this remnant. The Theophil can go around and heal all of you.
Thank you for trying, Artemisia.
What you got, Theophil? I'm casting.
well, and Artemisia can do some healing too while she's here, since that wasn't much help. Are you down anything, Sebastian?
I am slightly injured, but I can take care of myself. I appreciate it.
Well, no, she wants to do one on you.
All
She'll
right.
just do one cure wounds. I
all
can
right.
roll for it if you want, but
You know what? I feel like we're gonna stand around for a minute here and cast all the healing spells. Probably can all make it back up. Because I'm not gonna. Theophil's not gonna find anything else. I don't think. I think he's gonna go home and argue with Lickler and.
Yeah, well, the mass cure wounds puts me to 80 of 84. So
Okay.
I kind of assume that Artemisia's healing spell will put me to max. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He says to you, he says, you will have to go through the Ashenwood. You'll have to cross Lake Ashenay. You need to, once you're on the other side, you need to go into the Eric Forest. You must beware in each of these places. The Ashenwood, as you see, is full of spirits. You should be prepared to avoid them or give them offerings. They should not be as significant as the Boar spirit, but do not trifle with them.
Of course.
There are Fae here too. Don't mess with that.
Even
No.
less so, yes.
On the other side of the
tells
forest,
us not to
no.
mess with anything when we're here and not to trust anybody.
Don't poke things just because they look interesting, friendor.
Sturge looks. Ston looks at Sturge.
On the other side of the Ashenwood, there will be witch boats. Those will take you across the lake. You must be careful. No iron must touch the lake. You must not go into the lake in your clothes. You will upset the spirits. I don't know why they are like that, but they are like that.
Is it specifically about the clothes?
It seems to be specifically about the clothes.
So if they go in naked, like
You swim the lake
Sebastian
naked.
looks at Sturge, like if they dance naked under the moonlight in the water, it will offend the spirits?
Well, the water is very deep and very cold, so I don't recommend it. I say
It's a
stay in the
terrible
water
idea. I
with
agree.
your clothes on. But if you fall in, you get your clothes off. They don't like it. And better still, offerings. Once you reach the Ashenwood, beware. It is a haunted place. Many wars have been fought in the Eric Forest.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the unquiet dead. You must understand. But that is where the Durson are. You will have to travel through it to reach them. You're
Thank you,
muted.
brother.
Quadrant of the wood are they in?
Don't know this. You will have to look for signs.
Hmm.
But I expect once you enter the Eric Forest, they will find you. I would not tell them this story. But I will. You will have to show them the spell. You will have to see what they know.
So just for
looks-
clarification, this
Yeah.
is Theophil we're talking to, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Sebastian
using
looks
his
at
scary
Sturge
voice.
like, you got something to say to your buddy?
Might be muted, Steven.
No.
Yeah.
Just
Um,
soaking it
It shall just be a quiet admiration from afar. I see.
Find out if you can. Did she tell them? Do they know the siphoning spell? When she left here, then she came to you. Did she bear things from this place? Did she bring anything that maybe should be examined more closely.
Bone.
A bone?
Bone.
If you have
Well,
this
and the
bag of
mask.
teeth.
The mask.
Oh,
But-
wait.
We weren't lying when we told the Wiclaran that the mask had been burned.
Lazar's mask was
Yes.
burned
Yes.
in a fireplace.
Yes.
I will check this fireplace again.
Mm.
You mean-
It's just like very clearly Artemisia knows that it didn't burn up. So
Stephen, were you saying something? You're muted.
I don't think I'm muted.
you just we can't hear you when you're
can't hear you when
It's
you lean back that
strange.
far, I guess.
Yeah.
Strange. What do you think of you think that this mask or something else she brought with her when we first met her is significant in some way?
We should.
Ooh.
Hmm?
She also had a map when we first met her, right?
True.
Yes, a map to a Fey circle, which she used, I think.
What I know is this. The witches believe Lazar had something he was not supposed to have. This
Yes.
sounds like it is a spell he is not supposed to have, and you show me proof this is Lazar's spell. But I believe Igor, the spell must be anchored to something. And so I would be concerned that the Durthan might have taken that something.
Mm.
But I would also be concerned that your golden raven took this something. And I would
It-
wonder if Cecilia has the something.
She has so few things. She had a bone that was her focus, I think. Am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone.
It's a rod.
A
It's a
rod,
rod.
yes. That she channels magic through.
Does she still use it?
I do not think that is a Vremyani artifact, though. I think that is from her friend.
Did she,
He
I
had a
mean,
fragment of a mask that she received from this Red Wizard of Thay.
That was the Golden Raven's mask that used
Cecilia
to.
is taking presents from Red Wizards
Oh
of
no!
Thay.
Don't say.
She is taking trophies from slaying red wizards of Thay, using their magic against them. There is no
Thank you,
finer-
brother.
There is no finer, more dedicated foe of Thay than Cecilia.
See, this is why I brought other people.
He says to you in
Star's not a
Rishemi,
talker.
these Outlanders, they have very strange turns of phrase.
They do. They are not careful with their words. I am so sorry.
looking back on the rod, does it seem like that could be a significant thing?
Well, that's from the heart of the piercing, I think is what our assumption is. So
That's what Sebastian thinks is the case. I don't know if that's really the case.
Could his focus have been the very spear that broke off in the animal's mouth?
You gonna ask Theophil that?
Yeah.
Lazar, no. This is not how we do things.
So it must be the mask then. There's
That is
no
usual focus.
okay.
But
So
yeah, it's
So
someone to
it's-
look at the mask.
it's significant to remember that this Cecilia did not follow the path of the Cecilia in the other world.
Well, yet.
Okay, but she, as far as we know, I mean, she never learned the siphon spell in this world, and we have no reason to believe that she ever had that. In fact, when she lost her powers briefly, it wasn't something she was trying to. She didn't try to siphon off. I don't think it's the Cecilia in the other world that made the bad choices. And
Then I
we're-
think your question is, when do they split? How much of this world do
Yes.
you need to
Yes.
watch and worry
Yes.
about?
Yes.
And this is a question for someone who can see more than a mere human or
Yes.
else can see.
And we need to be, yes, and then we will know where to go back to prevent the choice.
Sebastian looks a little troubled.
You are
Or-
going to travel in time. You're going to cast chronomancy.
No, but the Golden Raven does all the time. And so perhaps...
Which is why
what-
she must be destroyed.
So maybe what I'm really saying is we have to use the spell on her.
Yeah, we need to use it against her somehow.
To siphon it back and put it in a stone or a gem or something and then feed it to somewhere. I don't know. Destroy it somewhere.
Well, Vigor believes his son learned this from the Earthens. Perhaps you will learn more about how it works and what are the limitations if you speak to them, but do not tell them what you've seen here.
No.
And I will tell the witches that you were trampled by the boar spirit, tragically died.
And we can tell them about the boar spirit, can't we? The Durthan. We can say we found your
Of
failed
course.
experiment. Yes.
Do find out what they're doing. Perhaps I am curious. Perhaps you will send word.
We can.
But leave it coded. Don't be like, hello, I am Sturge, and here is what I've found. I am not actually dead. You will get me in trouble.
Sturge wouldn't do that. I think I might. I'll try really hard not to.
We appreciate your help and your trust, Brother Theophil.
My trust is for Rashomon. Do not
Yes.
fail me.
We will not.
We will not.
Rashomon must endure. And if there is threat to Rashomon, we will put an end to it.
So, unless you guys want to keep having a heart-to-heart with Theophil, Igor and Clement are going to come back.
Mhm.
They've got some supplies, some food. They've got some extra like cloaks for you because you're going to keep heading north and it gets colder, especially when you're out on the lake. And Igor comes up to you with a sword and says, "Because the axe here, you fought bravely.
Oh, well, thank you.
If you
I
must
was-
throw it to a spirit, I apologize. I don't have another one."
You know, wow.
You are saving my granddaughter from something worse than I ever imagined. This is the least I can do. Is army well?
Thank you so much. We'll make sure to save your granddaughter and let her know how nice and generous and kind her grandfather is.
You do not need to sing my praises. You just make sure she is alright.
Well,
Fearful says, "Clement, you go with them. Make sure that their path is not obvious. Take them to the witch boats. We will explain things to the Wikrine. And unless you have any more goodbyes to say, Clement will lead you.
So,
Artemisia might need a moment.
yes.
Clement's going with you. You can have a
Okay.
moment with
Okay.
Clement later
Okay.
Yeah, man.
without the old men watching you.
There. Very good.
I mean, Artemisia, if you want to ride this boat with just Clement, I could take Sturge and Sebastian, perhaps. And ride
The
on
boats are on the
Pegasus.
other side of the forest. They go across the big lake. You can walk across this one.
Oh, okay.
Especially you.
Okay.
You could put Artemisia on your shoulders and just step over it.
I mean, I think
But-
Artemisia wants some time with Clement, maybe, so. Let's go over here, Sebastian and Sturge. I got some things to discuss with you two.
So we're heading for the boats, and that'll take a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
we're probably ending here for the.
Now's a okay time to end, yeah. I have forest things, but that's okay. Anyway, we'll get to a place that's not Running Rocks next time. I'm very excited. It only took 6 minutes, which I think is what I asked for the whole thing initially.
Yeah, it was funny. You're like, yeah, Running Rocks, like 2 or 3 sessions tops.
1 or 2. I said 1 or 2. What is wrong with me? Here we are. But I'm Erin M. Evans. I've been your DM. You can follow me on Twitter at Erin M. Evans. You can listen to my podcast, Writing About Dragons and Shit, wherever you download your podcasts. You can pre-order my new book, Empire of Exiles, at all the places. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, independent bookstores. Pick that one. That one's good. It is not Forgotten Realms. It is all me. It's a lot of weird world building with magic poisons and bejeweled skeletons. And
It's super cool.
That's right. Rhiannon's read it.
I have.
And sorcerer librarians, which is a little bit simple explanation for what they are, but I kind of love it. So please check that out. Pre-orders help a lot. And you can join me on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. for Champions of Lore with B. Dave Walters and Trevor Bettis, where we talk about the lore behind the game of our sponsor, Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms. Check them out at idlechampions.com.
Thanks for watching. I have been Eric Scott DB. I will be back to DMing duties for Team Hut next week, I believe, and they are continuing their exploration of Candlekeep, revealing some secrets, meeting some interesting entities from beyond space and time. Thank you for coming along with us on The Split. The Split is continuing for the foreseeable future. Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Don't
much
go
fun.
away, Aaron. This is great. Yeah, and remember to pre-order Aaron's book because it is going to be great, but they already talked about that, so I am done.
I've been Rhiannon Helt, and you can check out my books and everybody's different books on our website, dungeonscrawlers.com, and also on the Amazon widget on our Twitch page. So take a look, pre-order Aaron's, take a look at my newest space opera novella, Pure Motives. And tonight, thank you to our moderators, Shay, Rumpus Imperator, Seldrine, and Marduk.
Hey, I'm Ying Wang. So there's still some really terrible things happening in the world right now. So for our charity, we're still highlighting the Ukrainian Relief Fund. And according to the UNHCR, so far some 8 million Ukrainian refugees have been forced to flee from their home in Ukraine. So if you want to donate some money, help these refugees get shelter, medical care, food, and other supplies and services that they need, then type in !charity and it'll pop up a link, and from there you can donate to help them out. Every little bit counts, so thank you ahead of time.
All right, it is time for our giveaways. We'll start with the set of dice and tray from Phoenix Dice. The winner is Hostile Elk.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Right, Hostile, I'll be in touch with you to get your email address, and I'll send that on to Phoenix Dice. Next, we have the copy of the ebook, and here we go.
Wasp child, wasp child, wasp child.
Hidden Target.
Hey, hidden target yet again.
Oh my god. Hidden target. You got to work on your stealth check because we keep hitting you, man.
That's right.
All right. So Hidden Target, I guess we already have your email address from some other time. But that's it for us. I'm Stephen Merlino. And
Steven, weren't we drawing 2 copies for the Wasp Child?
The other one's on. Oh, yes, we are. 2 copies here on this, and then 1 more on Discord. So here we go. We're going to do it again. Boom! Umbra 000.
Hey, congrats, Umbra.
All right. So I'll be in touch with you, Umbra. we will be back next week with Team Hut. That's it for this time. See you next week. Stay good.